As a valued customer of ONS Ireland, your boiler has already been set by your plumber. This video will guide you through the common settings, troubleshooting and personalising your new boiler. This is the timer. There's a small switch on the right with 3 settings. 1 turns off the boiler, overriding all settings. Centre is timer, allowing the boiler to operate from your settings. The other is manual. The boiler will remain on in this setting. In reality, you should never really have to change the boiler from the timer setting. The timer itself is in the 24-hour clock. There's a small arrow pointing to the current time. If this is incorrect, please set the time correctly. Each one of the black switches allow for 15 minutes of heat. Pushing the switches up will turn the boiler on automatically when the desired time is reached. You must have the switch in the centre for this to work. During the winter period, it is vital to have your timer set correctly. Remember, frost occurs 24 hours a day. To recap, Step 1. Ensure the manual switch is set to the centre. This is timer. Step 2. Ensure the timer is showing the correct time. Step 3. Pushing the switches to the outer ring selects the length of time you want the boiler to operate. Behind the grey panel there are 3 dials. To the left is a service dial. You shouldn't need to use this. The middle dial is power. In the current position, the power is on. Turning it to the centre is standby. The boiler will not heat in this position, but the boiler may still heat to protect itself from frost. It will not heat the house. The last position is for service and reset. The dial on the right says the temperature of the water in the boiler. This should always be set between 60 and 65 degrees. The final item to look at on the face of the boiler is the pressure gauge. The reading should always be between 1 and 2 bar, although it can rise and fall while operating. In the event of a leak, you will find a stopcock under the sink. This will turn off the water while you wait for a plumber. Directly under your boiler, you'll find 2 switches. This is for summer and winter setting. In the current position, the boiler will heat both radiators and hot water throughout the house. In the off position, the boiler will only heat the hot water and will not heat the radiators. As a last word on boilers, in your hot press you'll find an automatic filling valve. This valve keeps an even pressure in the boiler. Above the filling valve there is a lever. This should always be in the on position, like so. There are also 2 other valves. One turns off the hot water supply and the other turns off the cold water to the bathrooms. This will not turn off the water in the kitchen. At the bottom of the hot water cylinder there's a thermostat fitted for safety. This regulates the temperature of the water. You can adjust it as required, but setting it to 5 should meet most needs. Finally, in your hall and possibly on the 2nd floor, you have a thermostat to control the temperature in the house. Setting this to its lowest temperature will override any heating request, effectively turning off the heating. Setting it to about 20 to 25 degrees should be fine. Should you still need a plumber at this point, please call the number that's on your screen now.